Making a video. Comments video, I believe. Yeah, it's because there's idiots and you have to comment, I suppose. Probably don't have to, but anyway. So anyway, alright, we'll just get to the stupid, snarky ones that are of no value, and, you know, that kind of thing. And explain to the idiots how reality works. So Mr. E, I think inmendham desired a very scientific debate. If inmendham desired a very scientific, in which he would be defeated, he should look into Walter Velth. Anyway, some sort of, you know, evolutionist gone 7-day Adventist or something. And just a complete douche. I'd say douchebag, but there's no bag. There's just douche. He is just douchey. He's just so douchey. Anyway, I watched a little bit of a video. Just never got to anything. Just kept telling stories. Useless sack of shit. So anyway, I think this guy probably deserves to be hidden. Yes, I think that's probably the appropriate response. I don't think I need to hear from Mr. E again. Time for a haircut. And likewise for that guy. See you never, fella. Yeah. Anyway, if God you're eviscerating is silly, duh, kudos on shooting ducks in a barrel. Well, look, it's not really shooting ducks in a barrel when you consider that the vast majority of people on Earth believe in one of these silly things. So, there are certainly ducks. It's supposed to be fish, you know, idiot. I don't know how exactly you cram the ducks into a barrel, but anyway. They still need to be shot, asshole. And are you shooting them? Frank? Are you doing anything? Let's see what Frank's up to. I don't think Frank's doing any work. So, this is just kind of a useless rag, right, Frank? Let's see what kind of bullshit you're doing. Same time, same place, next life. Oh, that sounds stupid. Diddle me this. Yeah, dibble. So this is all kind of like bullshit. Oh, an Anaconda bot on your list of subscriptions. Yeah, it's sort of a giveaway douche. So let's see what kind of douchey shit he has in this douchey video. It's only 4 minutes. Oh, it looks like a douche. Oh, yeah, this is really getting the job done. Oh, yeah. So, sometime, more place. You can't play worse shit, or else you can't write worse shit. This is the shittiest shit I've ever heard anyone shit. I mean, goddamn, this is shit. Oh, crap. Fucking annoying as hell. I mean, you couldn't even get away with playing that in a diner, jackass. So, yeah, you're not making much of a contribution, douche. So, I think, well, since we're here, we might as well go to the trouble. We'll give him an official block for being a douche. And then we'll read the rest of his douchey comment. Stupid douche. Douche, 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 douche. Yeah, I'm stuck on that word now. Alright, however, there are serious scientists making serious claims. Well, that's what you say. I'd say there's a lot of silly scientists making silly claims. That's how I would describe it. Having knowledge about one thing doesn't make you smart about another. That whole Ben Carson thing kind of taught you that. You know, he's a brain surgeon that really probably couldn't, you know, get himself out of a cardboard box. Anyway, and proposing serious experiments, like what? In search of intelligence, which they won't find, that may indeed have created us, e.g. Well, again, as I pointed out in the video, which you didn't pay any attention to, even if you found intelligence in the universe, it would have got here the same way we got here, which doesn't exactly make it an expert. I mean, Hawkins has even speculated that these aliens wouldn't be smart enough not to consider us food. They'd be so fucking stupid that they go across the universe to go get a hamburger. So obviously I don't think these guys think too much. They just talk a lot. So frankly, that's my opinion, yes. Footprints in the early universe. Well, again, there obviously aren't any big footprints in the early universe. There's no evidence whatsoever for any of this bullshit of some extraterrestrial intelligence. It obviously wasn't very successful. It didn't do the Star Wars thing and go shoot around the whole universe making, you know, interesting bands of elephant-faced people and such, and giant maggots and Jedis and all that crap. There's no such activity visible, idiot. And a host of other things, yes, like leprechauns and silly putty that sings. Are you smarter than Martin Rees? I don't know who that is, but yes, I imagine I am. And Michiu Akuku, yes, well, a cuckoo is a cuckoo. Is a string theory kook. And an arrogant one, to boot. Ugh, disgusting, actually. So let's find out who this asshole is, this Reese's guy. Looking beyond 2050, on Earth and in space, with Lord Martin Rees. Yeah, I bet this is a pile of shit. Hey, he doesn't look crazy at all. Yeah, no. Oh, jeez. Earth in its final century. Oh, so he's a real optimist, too. 5-minute lesson with cosmologist Martin Rees. Yeah, so well, that's 5 minutes. We should be able to do that really quick. It's the intro longer than the video. Cool. Human progress. Ooh.
Well, the world has a growing population, and many of those people, indeed the bottom billion or 2 billion, have a quality of life which is quite abysmal. They lack the basic resources, even enough food, no electricity, etc. And I think a measure of our progress will be the extent to which we elevate the living conditions.
Yes, how do we elevate it exactly, though, idiot? Besides just telling them to quit having kids. Duh.
Of the bottom billion or the bottom 2 billion, and reduce the inequalities between the poorer parts of the world and the more developed areas. And at the same time, I would hope that we should reduce the inequalities within the developed countries, because they are going to be socially corrosive if they're allowed to continue.
Well, again, they've been continuing forever, and you actually have made no political argument here whatsoever. I mean, I'm all for it, but again, just pie in the sky. La 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 la, this should happen. But, you know, you got to make the argument a little more assertively, I would argue. A little more assertively in the sense of acknowledging the fundamental unfairness. Did you inherit a better life? Have you disavowed the concept? One of you Britishers, you British people seem very fixated on your elitism. You know, the love affair with your little blue bloods. Why don't you tell them that that's a pile of shit? Let's see, what does it mean to live a fulfilled life? Oh, like this guy knows. This guy knows. He knows the secret. I'm doubting it.
How important a part of life is work. For people who are fortunate, like myself, to work in science or something creative.
Yes, right. The sit-down lazy man job. Yes, yes.
Work is an important part of satisfaction. Whereas you've got to accept that for many people, the intrinsic satisfaction they derive from their work is limited, and so the important thing is to ensure they have a good lives for themselves and their family. And
yes, well, that's really quite ambiguous. They have a good life where they have a bed to sleep on, so they can wake up in the morning, go back to work, and then go to sleep and go back to work. Go to sleep and work, and so I can have things.
They have security.
Fancy things. I have fancy bottles, and I have fancy things, and I can't have all my fancy things if people don't go to shitty jobs.
And they have dignity and respect. And one of the worries, of course, is that the euphemism that's used of talking about flexibility of the labour market is another way of saying there's less security for the average worker. And I think in order to ensure that people have a satisfying life, they've got to have a degree of security.
Right, so we've got to bring back blacksmithing and horse-drawn carriages and all of that kind of thing, because we can't have any of this obsolescence stuff that's just a fact of life. You know, progress can't be allowed to progress, so we'll keep everybody secure in their job as, you know, dough punchers and whatnot. Anyway. Yes, clearly, Are you smarter than? Yes, I win the first one, and I win the second one easy, because Michio Kuku is an asshole. Well, of course you are. Smiley face. Yes, well, it will be proven. So, it's going to be shit on your face, shithead. And again, what is your contribution? Oh, you stole a Bugs Bunny image. That's your contribution. Okay, fuck you. Alright, let's see. This video always gives me a big, it's okay, don't matter. So, even Gary admits, no, as soon as a sentence starts that way, we know we're not going to get along. That the possibility that God exists, or that he does not exist, are identical. I don't know, where did I admit that in the video? What I stated was, we know how existence happens in terms of how we got here. And we evolved. Now, even if you say the seed was planted by aliens, you really can't make a rational, oh, wait a minute. You can't attempt to make a rational, oh, wait a minute. They will attempt. I think this is the rhesus monkey nut. Or something like that. But I mean, these idiots who think, yes, aliens came here and had sex with a monkey, and that's how a human was made. No, absolutely no evidence of any kind of genetic alien genes that made the difference. It'd be quite bizarre that the aliens would have the same DNA structure, all of that kind of thing. So, but the point is that the simple function can evolve. The smart thing doesn't become stupid. And the whole idea that there was a God that poofed into existence has no coherency to anything we know about the known universe. The known universe just doesn't poof anything, and it certainly doesn't poof really complicated things. And so that's just kind of silly. And then if you assume it, then you know that it happened that way, and that you have some sort of infinite intelligence that just sits around for an infinite amount of time, and then someday gets the brilliant idea to create some kind of sadistic game where a bunch of babies are killed. You know, huge proportion of children are slaughtered for the process of evolution. And this is a good idea? I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of silly, buddy. So I think you're just being an asshole. But his icon is dumber, or dumb. So, you know, what should be expected? Both the creation of God that the spontaneous creation of life according to his own words require, I don't even know what that means, a huge and indefinite quantity of unlikely events. Yeah, well, as I stated, a God would have to evolve like we did, and evolution has a whole bunch of hurdles in it, as we know. It's not common process, it's uncommon process. And it has all these one-time events. Those are the ones that are the game breakers, in a sense, where you say, gee, that only happened one time out of zillions of experiments. How likely is that to keep happening? You know, you could run 1 billion planet Earths before you have one that gets past one of those hurdles, let alone the 15 or the 20 or the 50 or the 500 that we've survived. So how he categorically excludes God? Question mark. I categorically exclude the possibility of something intelligent behaving as the God must behave, which is stupid, but that's for a later video. That has to do with intelligence and logic and such. It's a logical argument. The argument here is I'm just explaining that if you look at the facts, the evidence, there's no evidence of God but stories you've been told by other silly humans. So if you believe those, you're just believing in leprechauns. The only reason I can think of is his theory, the only reason I can think of is his theory that an intelligent mind could not generate pain. Where did I say that? I mean, I say exactly the opposite, but whatever. I don't understand. The only reason I can think of is his theory that an intelligent mind could not generate pain. A mind without the capacity to generate or feel can't understand feelings. I've made that quite clear. You could never explain pain to something that can't sample it. It has to be sampled. But I do not agree. I think that although it is obvious that the pain objectively creates a negative state of mind, this does not exclude the divine hand. I don't even exclude it. How? From what process? All it takes to keep up with me is to understand that God does not have to be a loving and merciful Father, died on the cross for our sins, but also a shitty son of a bitch. Well, again, if that's your argument, that there's an infinite intelligence and it's an asshole, fine, but you'd still have to explain how this infinite thing got produced. And I'm just saying there's no rational explanation for the production of the infinite thing. And every bit of evidence displayed by the universe tells us it doesn't work that way. It tells us it goes from simple process to complex process. It doesn't go from complex process to simple process. So Gary agrees with me, now I don't, that God is the creation of which, according to himself, is likely as his non-existence. Well, like I said quite overtly, I don't think there's any possibility of a God, and an infinite intelligence is certainly, there's no reason to believe it any more than you would believe in forever leprechauns. Can be ruled out only by an act of faith. No, it can be ruled out by an act of reason. We know as a fact we can make up stories that are lies, that are untrue. Cartoon characters. This character of fiction here, he's a fictional character. It's not a real character. So we can make up fake things, and we can make them look like they could be real, but they're made up, and that's a fact. And that fact means that you don't have to believe every story that comes out of somebody's mouth, retard. Alright, so I will block this asshole for claiming that I said what I did not say, which is incredibly rude. Incredibly rude. Some sort of Spanish guy, I guess. Fucking rude. Foreigner. Yeah. Bastard. Piece of shit. Probably voted for Trump. Alright, so some of these people did attempt to argue with this retard for whatever reasons I don't know. Let's see. First, you need to define what you mean by God. No, you really don't. It doesn't matter. It's any of this supernaturally, any of this creator of things thing. It's just as stupid. Alright, anyway, Brad's S. Russell's teapot. What the fuck does that mean, you stupid cunt? It better mean something damn good, or you're in big, well, you're not really in big trouble. You're just not going to be able to communicate with me yeah, in the future, because I hate people wasting my fucking time. Alright, Russell T, sometimes called the celestial teapot or cosmic teapot, is an analogy coined by philosopher Bernard Russell. Yeah, like he's really a brilliant person. Ugh, fuck. When may not-for-profit people warned me I'd regret it. Over the decade later, it's only a top 10 run by the non-profit community passionate volunteers that's crossed my mind how much money we could have made if we had ads. Sure, but okay. Yeah. I mean, it's all very interesting that you want money, but, you know, sorry, I don't have any. And frankly, your website sucks. Just let you know, Jumbo. Anyway, you know, just because there's a bunch of fascists running it, so I mean, fuck. You don't get this. You don't get the whole story. Anyway, let's see. Burden of proof lies upon the person making scientifically unfalsifiable claims. Well, again, this unfalsifiable word is just so fucking stupid. Rather than shifting the burden of disproof to others. The point is, yes, the person making claims has to prove them, and frankly, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So anyway, it's just not a very, it's not much of a comment. That's all I'm going to say. So why don't you make instead of putting the word down, why don't you put the definition down, and then you'd be actually saying something. Yeah, that would be a better thing to do in the future. Just letting you know. Let's see. People need to stop financing animal cruelty, and they immediately need to stop procreating. Well, they're not immediately going to do anything until we pass laws. So, gotta work on that, buddy. Does your life just suck ass? Question mark. Do you like being blocked? I think I just do the hide thing. Hide comments. Yeah, fuck you. That was like on the Paul's ego video. He said, like, the drunken peasant morons. Ugh. Let's see. In the beginning there was Mimi, and the Mimi was kick, and the meme was kick. I don't even know what that means. Shadowlally praise kick. I don't know. But yeah, you're definitely going. Yeah, I think we don't need. Yeah, I just can't imagine how I could need people who talk in obscuria. So, fuck you. Yeah. I believe in a God, and I think aliens made us by mixing some DNA with rhesus monkeys. With the rhesus monkey. Maybe they have a base on the moon. Well, whatever. You're an idiot. There must be some sort of thought process behind complex creation. Again, why must there be? Because you say so. No evidence here of why it's necessary at all. All the evidence, the whole genome has been mapped, asshole. There's no miraculous jumps in there. I have seen UFOs several times. Well, they're, seeing some unidentified flying object doesn't mean you've seen an alien, idiot. So I'm sure they're not alone in the galaxy. So you think that's true, even though you don't have a cell phone with you now. Now there's really no excuse for not videotaping your miraculous encounters with the rest of the galaxy. So where's the evidence, douchebag? I think people call magic is often just science people don't understand. So magic is science. I've experienced some crazy shit that makes me believe in God. Well, gee, that's such a profound argument. And as I have stated in previous videos, I don't have any help for you, okay? I mean, if you've had some sort of I met Jesus story, well, I don't have any argument for you. I haven't met Jesus. So why should I believe in something you met, idiot? I mean, I could say I met Donald Duck. How seriously would you take it? I met a leprechaun. How seriously would you take me? No, that's right. Not seriously at all. I think God is like a huge other dimensional being. See, this whole thing of figuring that there's other dimensions is just so fucking retarded. There's 3 dimensions. Forward, up, down. Forward, back, up, down. And left, right. That's it. There aren't any other dimensions. That's it. Nothing else. We live inside. I'm not religious in any way, by the way. Well, you sound like a crack shit, insane, crazy religious kook to me. I have my own belief system built on my experiences. Well, gee, how fucking interesting. You know how much I don't give a rat's ass, and you know how much this isn't an argument? It's really not an argument of any kind. It's absolutely nothing. There's no argument here, idiot. Yeah, no evidence. Just your claims. I claim, and I claim. You got the brain of an ostrich. Stupid cunt. Alright. Let's see what else. Really good stuff. Snore. Life Guy says snore. Well, that comment deserves some reaction on my part. I think we'll go for the official block on that one. I don't know what thing actually works better, blocking or just, unblock user. I guess I've already blocked him. I don't know how he commented while he was blocked, but whatever. I guess I'll also make him invisible then, since I can do everything at once here. I'll also hide. There you go. Now we're done with you. First, suck it. Well, that's not terribly interesting, so you suck it. Inmendham guy who never did any deplorable things in his past. Okay, so this guy's a liar. Thank you. Well, deplorable would be a tricky word. Yeah, I don't think I ever did anything deplorable. Inmendham, the guy who never takes into account that people can change. Well, I don't know where there's evidence that I don't do that. I have forgiven transgressions against me personally many times, idiot. Stop holding Brett Keane to his past. I'm not holding him to his past. He's presently fibbing and bullshitting just as much as ever. Well, look, why is he making a video just to explain? Well, yeah, I can understand, like, the whole Jesus freak thing was bullshit. I mean, I gave $1,000 for no good reason. I didn't really rationally think about it. I mean, I've known Jesus freak for years. I know he's got a lot of money, and yet I fell for some sort of, like, I'm doing charity for Jesus freak. I mean, somehow I need to pay for his daughter's expenses. Like, somehow that makes sense, because he put it up like, it looked like a charity thing, and you assume a charity thing is because you don't have money. You don't assume that somebody perfectly capable of paying for it is going to be begging for money. It just, you know, I assumed you need the money. You know, but instead of it fessing up, he's just lies still. So, you know, until Brett Keane stop acting like Brett Keane, you know, until Brett Keane figures out that, you know, this whole selling of his name, you know, he did, I guess the Amazing Atheist told him to cut the intro, because, yeah, who the fuck wants that bullshit on every fucking video? And maybe then in the future he'll also figure that all these crosses is kind of offensive, and all this other shit that he does. And maybe when he really gets to being somebody who isn't always promoting something and always capitalizing and always selling, then maybe you got a chance to make this argument with me. But in my opinion, Brett Keane's exactly what he's always been, a guy looking for an angle. I'm pretty sure someone could dig up some dirt from your past and hold your feet to that fire. Well, I know, but what kind of dirt, I guess, is the point I would say. They're not going to find any dirt where I, you know, pretended to be poor, you know, or they're not going to find dirt where, like I said, that I ever, in some overt way, just cheated, lied to make money or something. I never did that. I ever cheated, even, you know, I delivered newspapers as a kid, you know, every day, walking, you know, rain or shine, in the snow, terrible, horrible drudgery, and I never even ripped off them. I never figured out, hey, I could fool this guy and just say he owes me for, you know, 15 weeks instead of 14 weeks. Yeah, I never cheated anybody. Never mind what kind of person you are today or what kind of person you will be tomorrow. Don't pay any attention to that. Well, again, there's just no evidence that I don't pay any attention to it. But I'm just saying that what's Brett Keane's conversion? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm a Christian who still says, fuck, you know, votes for Trump. Okay, so he thinks Donald Trump's a good Christian because Donald Trump said, the Bible's my favorite book, even though there's nothing in Donald Trump's life or behavior that would defend him as a Christian. And it only says 7 times in the Bible, the odds of a rich man getting in the kingdom of God are those of a camel going through the eye of a needle. I'm just saying, I'm not the one full of shit. Your buddy is. Brett Keane is a compulsive con artist. He was just born to it. Wolfie. I don't know what the fuck that means, so I'll just do without it. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, what's your definition of nihilism? See, again, I already did this definition shit. There's only one thing that could possibly matter nihilistically. I mean, if you say nothing in the universe exists, okay, then you're not just a nihilist, you're retarded. I mean, you're fundamentally insane. So the only thing that matters nihilistically is to say value doesn't have any substance. They're all just projections. So value is just like me saying I believe in leprechauns. It's like some sort of meaningless statement. It's some projection of an illusion of a reality instead of something that's real. And my argument is quite simple, that the fact of sensations means value is real. Our body synthesizes value to make it visible in other things, and by synthesizing it actually makes the real thing. See, the silly thing we were intended to project value to, like food, you know, our survival. So something became valuable because we wanted to eat it. You know, our body needed it. So our body wanted to make that thing valuable. or vaginas, whatever you want to. You know, sex and food is all it's really about anyway. But anyway, the point is to make it valuable, our body had to come up with some way to represent value. So you could represent a banana, but it couldn't make a banana like, I'm going to bother getting up and walking over to get a banana. It can only make the banana worth walking to and fighting to get, like you'd fight somebody else to get to the banana. It can only make it worth it, okay, by synthesizing some idea of value. And the idea of value, it was trying to make the idea of value, and it made the real thing. It made a feeling. And then once it became feeling, now we can recognize real value in the world by pointing to something that's feeling and saying, that feeling thing has value. Because it can be hurt. It can have negative experience. See? Anyway. I thought nihilism was simply the belief that reality doesn't have any intrinsic meaning. Well, again, intrinsic meaning is the same thing as saying, obviously if there's no value, then there would be no meaning. If you get my drift. You can't have meaning without value, without something at stake. So it's the words, for the purpose of this conversation, the word meaning and the word value are the same thing. Without a value equation, there's no meaning equation. Jeez. Death it is. I don't know what that means. Death also, if you haven't figured out how by now, this guy is a lunatic. Yeah. Well, whatever. The thread can now disappear. You don't have genetic urges to make kids, but you said women have. I didn't say they had a genetic urge to make kids. What I said is women obviously have a biological blah 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 to comfort and take care of things. Animals don't know how babies are made. I don't know. I mean, they really don't. And humans, for most of their history, were a dumb animal. They didn't know that, oh, if I let a penis fuck my vagina, I'll make a baby. They didn't know any of that. And they also didn't know that, hey, if I prevent that little final part, like if I hit the male with a rock, before he comes, I don't get pregnant. But if they did know that, maybe a lot of men would have got hit by rocks. Anyway. So yes, Man Cheese throws in her 2 cents, which is, hey, I didn't need to have no kids. Anyway, so, but yes, these people always misinterpreting what are simple statements I've made, and I don't know how they they can't ever quote me, because if they quoted me, then they would say, oh shit, look, I got that all wrong, didn't I? Yeah, they're such pussies. So anyway, this guy looks like a real douche. Rang Duris. You live a sad life. What, compared to your little small dick nerdy world? I don't think so. Chasing around your betters, like you're one of them? I don't think so. And being an annoying flea on their asses. I don't know, I mean, a tick on an ass might make more sense. Go back to 1985. Well, there's a lot of people that'd like to go back to 1985 because you queers are just a little bit too insufferable. Let's see who this guy is. A little bit too creepy, I'd say. What do we got? Uploads. Some sort of crap. Anime. Whatever. I don't know what that is, but yes, it's anime singing or something. Very exciting. Yeah, it's growing up so fast. Okay. Source for useless information. Number 1 source for useless information. Well, aren't you? Isn't that just so charming? I guess I can live without that then. Thank you very much for letting me know what you are by definition. Because yes, by definition, I don't need that. So, yes. Continue to fuck yourself in the ass until dead. Why don't you make videos to fat slobs and explain to them where they can get the best deal on Fat Man underwear? Oh, he's quoting me. Yeah, anyway, yeah, that's a little bit of a rude comment. You look like a rock star that partied way too hard and burned out years ago. So this is this Carl guy. I don't know what his whole thing is, but I've had my fill of Carl, so we'll just put him on the old Heidi list. See ya. Anyway, Christopher 7. Wow, how did I miss this? Yeah, good comment. Sarah Hahn guy. Yeah, he changed his thing, his shtick, his YouTube shtick. Yeah, but it's good to see him. It's good to see the familiar old face now and then. Sorry, but yes, we're all getting older. Anyway, I've got some old notebooks you can have. Ooh, cool. I guess it depends on how old they are, right? I have a couple of Windows 95 kind of notebooks, and it's amazing just to watch it boot up, because it's like 5 minutes. You're just like, wow, look at that, 5 minutes. Anyway, it's kind of funny. Let's see, it's amazing to me how many dudes that come to you can't admit basic things, culture, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, whatever. 10 years, not yet. May will be 10 years here. I think that's the way it works, if I've added up the numbers correctly. It's so tragic they don't have anyone better to discuss reality with. Yes, it certainly is. Let's see, what you are talking about has been talked about for 200 years. Immigrants are always taking away jobs from others, but it's not so. Well, again, show me the immigrant wave that came into any other country where they got full health care and Medicare and workman's comp and all kinds of welfare for their kids and free education. Show me the time in history where that took place, idiot. Yeah, it didn't. It's about making the pie bigger. Well, again, if you think that's not unsustainable nonsense, then you're an idiot. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, obviously you can't just keep doing that. You can't make the pile of less than brilliant people bigger and bigger. It just isn't really going to work, retard. Instead of taking a pie piece away, they are making a bigger pie. Well, that's just so silly. Obviously, they're taking huge pieces out of the resource pie. Things that can't be invested in because we have to keep cleaning up the mess made by the chaos created by their dysfunctional family life and such. Just like immigrants have done in the past. Well, like I said, it's nothing like immigrants in the past. In the past, immigrants were dirt cheap, and we didn't have to pay shit to have them here. And they stayed in their slums. They got beat up by the cops. They had absolutely miserable lives. And we don't do that anymore. And so unless you want to go back to doing that some more, like I said, if you want to bring China here, that's an argument to be had. You'll accept having a $2 an hour wage for, an immigrant wage, and you'll keep them in, the mining town or whatever, and you'll charge them obscene prices for their food and lock them in their little cottages and, treat them like slaves. Now, if you want to go do that, then we'll be very industrious and have a wonderful economy. But my argument to you is to do it over there is bad. To do it right in front, to do it right here and do it is disgusting. So the fact is the world has to be changed, not the United States. And the United States ain't going to be able to change shit if it's driven to bankruptcy by, not paying attention to the fact that human labor doesn't have much value anymore. You idiots. And I do mean idiots. Let's see, I'm a new sub. I'd love to see some physics videos. Well, they're on the Draft Science channel. The fake drama is getting boring. I look forward to seeing outcomes of the whole Sotomayor thing. Fuck that guy. Yeah, well, whatever. Whoa. This guy's got some bad language there. He definitely needs to be hidden. Ramesses 77 is a potty mouth. Alright. Fuck you are an irritating moronic piece of shit. Who do you imagine you are, pontificating about good and evil? Well, I just pointed out, I used the word good and evil just to describe the fact that we have feelings that your worst feeling of your life, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't mind describing it as a damn evil bastard. So I just used the word evil to describe the nature of the negative. You know, you don't have to believe in evil to use evil. I mean, Nietzsche used the word evil. He didn't believe evil meant demons. As if there were such things. Ha ha. So you're saying there's not good and bad feelings. There's not torture. You're saying that doesn't exist. You have a very high opinion about yourself for one who remains incapable of grasping the most basic concepts. Well, you haven't grasped the concept that you have to actually make an argument of some kind. You can't refute or dispute somebody by making claims that aren't even arguments. They're just accusations. Nothing else. No evidence. Nothing to back it up. No facts, no logic, nothing. Just some silly accusation that I have a high opinion of myself. And you think I'm ignorant. And you base it on what? Because I understand that we have positive and negative sensations. Ooh, yes, that makes me such a fool to fall for that. Let's see. So anyway, fuck that guy. Alright, anyway, I think we've done enough of this shit. Fake Sagan's full-fledged cuck. True story. Yeah, well, I have to agree. Yeah, maybe I'll just throw it in the end of this thing. I mean, he had a video called Her, where he's doing his whole, whatever that is. I don't know. Male. I don't know. I don't even know what that is. But anyway, the whole, like, look at I'm holding my baby, and I'm kissing my baby, and I'm gonna miss my baby, and it's just so, yuck. Yeah, I don't have any, just nothing. There's just nothing. Like I said, there were a few moments in my youth, you know, when I was, I don't know, 7 or something, that I could have manifested maybe a little ego moment where I said, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have a little Gary? You know, even though I was already pretty little. But, you know, by the time you're, I don't know, 11 or 12, you go to some grammar school, right? You start to, you know, let's see, that's what grade you're in at 11 years old. You're starting 5th, 6th grade, right? Something like that. And 7th even? No, 6th, I guess. Well, anyway, so you're learning a little bit of this earth science stuff, and the fact that, you know, somebody, you know, and you're also seeing it in the real world. And you realize that, you know, you don't look anything really like your mother or father. You know what I mean? You're just a mutt. You're just kind of, okay, I'm a little bit similar to him, and a little bit similar, and a little, but they're little similarities. So you realize that having a kid, it's not going to be me. Kid's going to be some, you know, mixture, and the mixture is going to make neither one of us visible. I mean, the way it's going to, you know, it's going to be like blue and red, and it's going to come out purple. It's not going to come out like red and half blue. It's going to come out a mixture of the two, and it's not going to be recognizable anymore. And I certainly realized that I wasn't turning out much like my father, and so there wasn't much sense to it. Like, I already knew what I think going to be me, and then I also knew, well, I was starting to realize, why the fuck would you impose this on somebody else? Because all I was realizing is that I was trapped in this whatever chamber of horrors. I had to go to prison every day. Just horrible life. And and so you learn about all these liabilities. And like I said, I did have a sister who had a cleft lip, and I had at the time a heart condition of some kind. I mean, it was a murmur, but it was the kind of thing that wasn't going away. So I had to be, had to go to Boston and, let the experts, play with my nuts and do different things to figure out if my heart didn't work, which I don't entirely understand what I have to do with. I don't know so apparently there's something down there that is somehow critical to something in your heart, which, I guess it's just the artery thing and they need to get to them closer or something, but it just seems like seems a little bogus. So anyway, it is a little bit awkward. But anyway, I had a lot of those things. And, Yeah, so I already, and I'm facing this idea of, well, if we can't figure out what's wrong, I guess we'll just have to cut him open and fiddle around in there. And that didn't sound like a good idea. So I'm just saying, I was already getting the idea that this isn't a great ride. So anyway, I just don't get this whole, and then the more you find out, I mean, you see babies born, and it's disgusting. And the babies themselves are, yuck. I don't understand it. I just don't get how you can get all about this shit. It's just a horrible liability. And so now, well, so anyway, and so the whole, fake Sagan is so fake now. I mean, here he is living where he's saying basically, I'll morph into a different person right before your eyes at any moment. And he's saying all these things like in absolute terms. I'll never be part of her life, and I'll never do this, and I'll never do, and I'll never, and I'll never. And it's like, you couldn't even stay off of YouTube for one fucking day. I mean, come on. I'll never. I mean, it's just so funny, in this circumstance. But anyway, it's just a liability anyway. I mean, all you've done is create a disaster, waiting to happen. And you're all thinking you did something, blah, 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 the greatest thing I did in my life. I don't think you did anybody a favor here. And I think you'll find out, probably, that you didn't do anybody a favor. But anyway, planet Earth certainly not. And the individuals involved, by just average statistics, are doomed to disability and death. Certainly death, statistically, that one's really quite certain. And statistically, the odds are it's not going to be, well, killed in a plane flying into a building. She's not going to do one of these instantaneous deaths. It's going to be some kind of drawn out hard thing. So anyway, I just don't get it though. I don't. Ugh. Eesh. So I mean, it's a problem because I can't philosophically argue with people that are having some sort of wacky emotional experience that I can't possibly understand. I just don't. I don't sense any. I just don't. Just nothing. Like I said, even if I had a kid, I just couldn't see how I could possibly get all. I mean, I could see how I could get emotional in the sense of worry, but I just don't see how I could possibly get all like the joy of it. I just can't really imagine that. Because how exactly is that going to get manifested? I mean, all I'm going to be thinking about is the kid turning into a pervert. Should I tell him about girls or should I not? Am I going to fuck it up? And what should I say? What way if I mean, the whole thing is like a morass of horror. Am I going to feel good if my kid goes out and knocks up some girl when he's 13? The whole thing just looks like a disaster just waiting to happen. And you gotta go through all those years of baby talk. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Sorry, yeah, I just can't. Somebody put like they do with kittens or puppies, if they put little babies in a window in front of a store, ooh, would I ever walk on the other side of the street? Oh, creepy, creepy, creepy. It's like girls and rats or girls and lizards or something. Me and babies? No, thank you. I don't get it. Not even close to. I don't want it. I don't get it. Oof. So anyway, that's my comment, I suppose. But I just hate that whole. It was just such this crying and all this over this. You fucked a woman and got and one of your sperm got to her egg. I mean, there wasn't like anything you did except fuck a woman. I mean, and when they talk like this was something I put so much into this and I failed at and, it's like whatever. You didn't put anything, you didn't invest shit in it. So anyway. But whatever. Well, the whole fake Sagan. Apparently he knows he's such a violent lunatic that he really thinks yeah, I'll probably just beat up my daughter. Or he's pretty sure he'll just keep smacking the wife or something. I just don't, I just don't, I don't understand how somebody can say, well, look, I know I have a problem, and I'm not smart enough to figure out how to put my fist through something else. I mean, I got the scars to prove that I'm smart enough, okay? I mean, you know, I nearly cut this finger right the fuck off right here, you know. Because instead of hitting somebody, I put it through a glass window. And, because that's what a sensible person does if they have some sort of anger problem that they can't deal with. Well, you know, they find some way to deal with it. So you should have found some way to hurt yourself, you know, rather than the bitches. But you should be able to figure that much out. I'm just saying, it's not that hard to, you know, break your hand punching a wall. Or it's not even that hard to go one step further and say, oh gee, wait a minute, I think I'm way old enough now to be able to say when I'm at that point, and just say, oh no, this is where I get ridiculous. So yeah, let's just forget about doing that ridiculous thing anymore. Because being ridiculous, yeah, fuck that. It's really not that hard to do that. It really isn't. So anyway, no, it's probably enough. I'm pretty sure it's enough. Alright, sorry, this isn't much of a video, but I just figured it needed to be done, sort of. I don't know really if it needed to be done, but I did anyway. It was just irritating me, and I probably didn't explain it as well as I want to anyway, so I probably didn't even accomplish what I intended to accomplish. But regardless, it's done. Thank you very much. And until next time.